And for those of you who are new, two of the ways that you will, the two branches really that you're going to see and perceive the effects of what we do together afterwards in the coming days and weeks as you integrate our work and as you use the replays from both the new moon and full moon lunations of sacred clearings and activations, as well as this monthly Zoom event. One of the ways is synchronicities increased that come in to help you with what we're focusing on in the clearings and activations. So seemingly external events get brought to you, whether it's via an email, a phone call, a meeting with somebody. The other branch, main branch, where you have the outcomes is in your inner awarenesses. You'll have shifts, you'll have new realizations, new ahas, and then you'll be able to make new choices. And that is the foundation of these new times and being on the cutting edge of consciousness and learning how to access the new by allowing ourselves to make choices that bring in the new. So those inner shifts do a beautiful dance with the outer synchronicities. So there you have it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I've been perceiving is there's a lot of tiredness. And if not tiredness, there's a lot of sluggishness. There's also a lot of Spacey-Ness. When I was listening to my guidance about how I can be the best contribution to you all, one of the things I heard was allowing yourselves to choose to honor what your body needs, like rather than pushing through. So for example, if you had to call off work for the afternoon, letting yourself do that and letting yourself nap in the afternoon. I mean, this might not sound radical at all to some of you, and to others of you, it's absolutely ludicrous. TV watching in the afternoon in daylight? What? You know, so I'm not suggesting that you watch TV, but you get the point. Now, the Spacey-Ness is a bit of a different beast, so to speak, than the tiredness or the sluggishness. We're bringing in really high frequencies when it meets physically dense matter. And there's a lot of the high frequencies meeting physically dense matter that is not yet transformed into a higher vibration, and holding a higher vibration, tiredness ensues in order to accommodate. But with the Spacey-Ness, it's a little bit different. Spacey-Ness, I mean, I just had quoted back to me today with a client right before this, my first book's title, What If There's Nothing Wrong? And so I'm going to use what she said back to me about my first book's title. Coming from the perspective of what if there's nothing wrong? It's the same with Spacey-Ness. One of my masterminders reported yesterday that she's been missing a lot of appointments because of the Spacey-Ness since the eclipse. And I know that as well as not listening to our bodies and instead powering through and pushing through, thinking that not doing anything is bad. But the spaciousness, which we can use instead of Spacey-Ness, that spaciousness we go into that can seem to us in our conditioning to define as Spacey-Ness is actually the space where we connect in with the light source, the universe, our higher self, however you want to construe it, even though higher self is a part of our system. And then we connect up with source or the universe, or however you frame it, above at the crown chakra and even more so above it. So when we're integrating higher frequencies, we're needing to expand. It's another word for it, right? So when we're expanding in this way, Spacey-Ness typically is a part of it. A lot of you get really spacey when you hear my clearings and activations. It's a typical outcome. And for those of you who are new, you might perceive heat, you might perceive tingles, you might perceive a sudden pain in an area of the body that then goes away. You might perceive sleepiness, yawning. You might feel like you in that space where you're not asleep and you can hear me, but it feels in a way like you can't hear me, or you may miss a sentence or a phrase because I've hit a block. All sorts of different stuff happens. And burping, tummies rumbling, yawning, and some of you may not perceive anything happening. It's okay. It's still working. So I want to beyond the reframing of what Spacey-Ness may actually be, I do want to help us all earth more.